So Curtis Blaydes versus Derrick Lewis just took place in the main event of UFC Fight Night Vegas 19, Blaydes versus Lewis, and I just watched Derrick Lewis legally murder someone on live television, and he completely flatlined Curtis Blaydes in the second round and followed up with ground and pound shots that were not necessary. However, they were rather necessary at the same time because it adds to the brutality of the KO, of course. But that could have been a walk-off KO. One punch, out cold, Curtis Blaydes slumps backwards after shooting a sloppy takedown in the second round. Derrick Lewis catches him with not even the knuckles of his hand. He doesn't need knuckles, okay? I think we need to make that statement immediately. Derrick Lewis's knuckles should be literally removed from his hands. He doesn't need them. He landed with his wrist, and Blaydes got one punch lights off KO'd. I need to put this into something that makes it even more impressive than what it is. Ngannou landed multiple haymakers on Curtis Blaydes' jaw, and Blaydes didn't get KO'd. Okay, he got TKO'd in their fight. He got knocked down a couple of times, scrambled all over the place, but just wasn't recovering fast enough. It was kind of like a Cejudo versus Dillashaw, but a heavyweight version of the situation. Didn't get KO'd against Ngannou. Took multiple shots of Ngannou straight on the jaw in the very first round of a fight. And Derrick Lewis KO'd him with a wrist. He missed his knuckle. MMA, you know, it's a crazy sport we're in, but Derrick Lewis gets the job done, and I'll say this again, as I said live, this is actually kind of better for the heavyweight division that Derrick Lewis gets the job done, because it solves the logjam problem of the heavyweight division. Curtis Blaydes winning would be terrible, because he'd just be sitting there hogging a number one spot, and now we can actually do Derrick Lewis versus someone else in the meantime, before we get Jones's title shot in the heavyweight division, and in hindsight, this is actually the best thing that could ever happen. However, I would never predict this to happen. I don't think anyone predicted this to happen. Someone will say, I predicted it, Guru, in my comments. I can guarantee that. But I don't know how someone would. This was like a foregone conclusion that Blaydes would go out there, non-stop grapple Derrick Lewis, make him work in the grappling exchanges, take him down over and over again, and smash him apart on the ground whenever he got in there. Because that's the same thing Ilir Latifi did, and it's the same thing Blagoy Ivanov did as well, and Blaydes is far better than both of them. But Blaydes stood and traded with Lewis the entire time and actually shot a takedown at the end. And him shooting a takedown's what got him KO'd, because he didn't set anything up, just shot a naked takedown, reached for a leg like there was no consequences whatsoever, and Derrick Lewis timed the uppercut just in time to land with an open palm on the chin of Curtis Blaydes. Sunk him. I thought that like my stream had glitched, in all honesty. Not my stream, sorry. I thought my ESPN app had glitched or something. Sorry, my ESPN stream. I thought my ESPN stream had glitched for a second because Blaydes just stopped moving after he shot a takedown. I thought, hang on a second, let me refresh it for it. And then all of a sudden, Blaydes just flops backwards, out cold, dead. And Derrick Lewis killed him. Is he still out cold? No, he isn't. He was back awake after the fight was over. But come on, Derrick Lewis goes out there, gets completely destroyed in the first round by Curtis Blaydes, does nothing whatsoever of any goodness. I mean, misses all of his shots. I think he landed at about a 25% rate in the first round. I think he landed a leg kick here, maybe a shot to the body, and then a couple upstairs in the middle of some exchanges that partially landed on Curtis Blaydes. There was one good shot that sort of caught Blaydes in a combination. Other than that, though, Curtis Blaydes was all over him in the first round on the feet, which is something I never expected to see. I thought Curtis Blaydes would go out there and wrestle, because, and I quote on ESPN MMA, you can go back and watch it. I'll read you Curtis Blaydes' quote right now back to you. Give me a second here, okay? And I quote, where is Curtis Blaydes' quote? Here he is. I know a lot of people don't care. I have a family. I'm out here trying to feed my family. I don't care if you want me to risk my win bonus, which is $100,000. You want me to risk $100,000 to stand and bang with a guy who has terrible wrestling? Nah, I'm just not going to do it. I think that would be very fitting to have that quote on his tombstone, and maybe Derrick Lewis can visit it once a year and put some flowers down. If you want me to risk $100,000 to stand and bang with a guy who has terrible wrestling, Now I'm just not going to do it, and that's what he exactly proceeded to do for the entire first round. I don't think he shot a single takedown in the first round. The second round, he grabbed a single leg at one point and made Lewis bounce on one leg for a second, but he never had himself in on the hips. He just had a single leg and made Derrick Lewis bounce around for a sec. And then finally, he shoots a naked takedown with no setup whatsoever, like Derrick Lewis is going to stand there, and Lewis makes him pay with an uppercut KO out cold. Down goes Curtis Blaydes. Now, there was some situations in the fight with some eye pokes. I know Blaydes slapped Lewis at one point and they called it an eye poke and Lewis gets a breather. And in another moment where they both had their fingers out and Herb Dean kept jumping in and stopping the action. But you can't deny that. That's a one-punch KO again. And the funny thing is, I'll pick against Lewis again. I don't fucking care. You know? Like, I'm going to pick against him again, against whoever. Like, that's just obvious, right? Like, you do your research, you look stuff up, you check previous fights. You're just going to pick against Derrick Lewis again, but he'll probably just one-punch KO someone who didn't even get one-punch KO'd by fucking Ngannou. He didn't even get one-punch KO'd by Ngannou, and Lewis literally landed with his wrist and fucking destroyed him with it. What the fuck? How does that make any sense? The casual Instagram fans have been proven correct over the experts here, and it's a very sad moment for MMA. I'll tell you, but it's actually a good moment as well, because Derrick Lewis is always a great guy to have win a fight, and I'm glad that he won, because otherwise it'd be straight back to the back of the queue. And at least we've got Derrick Lewis in the mix now at heavyweight with a one-punch KO over Curtis Blaydes. Couldn't even do that to Latifi or Ivanov. Just Curtis Blaydes, bonk, down he goes. Even Olenek took fucking shots better than that, am I wrong? Olenek took shots better than Blaydes. But yeah, Derrick Lewis, man, proved me wrong. Made me eat my fucking words. I thought I was, you know what I was thinking tonight? I was thinking, you know what? Some crazy shit's happened. Couple weird decisions. Couple bad moments in the fights. Haven't got all of them correct. At least Curtis Blaydes is going to win in the main event, right? Doesn't shoot a single takedown in the first round and he suffers for it, man. You can't stand with Lewis because even if he misses every single one of his shots, he needs to land 1 out of 50. That's all he needs to land. And it doesn't even have to land. He just needs to catch you with the open palm because Derrick Lewis's power is out of this fucking world. And apparently Blagoy, Ivanov and Ilir Latifi have chins like no one else because, Jesus, I watched them take bombs off Derrick Lewis against a cage. Non-stop. Non-stop bombs against a cage. But he just slumps Curtis Blaydes in the first round, I guess. Man, I thought Blaydes was going to shoot a takedown in the first, so it was immediately not what I expected it to be. I thought he was going to try and maybe get some respect for Derrick Lewis on the feet first, land a couple of good shots, and then immediately shoot a takedown after that, though. But no, Blaydes never shot the takedown till the second round, and when he did, he had no setup whatsoever, and he paid the ultimate price for not setting up takedowns and just shooting him out in the open, and Lewis timed him with an uppercut. So good job, Derrick Lewis. And I think that next, I know he called out John Jones. They could make that fight first. I think that would be a good fight to make. However, they're probably just going to give John Jones a title shot at heavyweight because if he loses to Derrick Lewis, even after beating John Jones, I don't think brings the pay-per-views that John Jones's heavyweight debut for the title eventually brings. So I think the UFC are not going to do the John Jones Derrick Lewis fight, but what I'd love to see is maybe Derrick Lewis versus the winner of Rosenstruik versus Cyril Gane. That'd be a great fight. Lewis versus the winner of Rosenstruik Gane. Curtis Blaydes, I guess, versus Alistair Overeem 2 is now the reality that we live in. That's probably going to happen. Maybe Lewis gets the winner of Rosenstruik versus Gane, and maybe Blaydes gets the loser. If it's Rosenstruik and Rosenstruik loses, he'll be ranked like number 5 above Alistair Overeem, so they could do Blaydes versus Rosenstruik. I know that Blaydes and Overeem train together, so I doubt he'd want to retire Overeem like that. But then again, maybe Overeem just catches him, because I really expected Blaydes to do nothing but just hug him against a cage, stomp on his toes, knee at his thighs, go for takedowns immediately. But he just stood with Derrick Lewis, and you just can't do that in the heavyweight division. You have to take him down immediately. There's no playing around. Even though Blaydes was winning so comfortably on the feet, dominating on the feet the entire fight long, you just can't play that game because it doesn't matter if you land 50. Lewis needs 1. It doesn't matter if he misses 10. He needs 1. And it doesn't even have to be a good one. It's just anything that he lands on you on that tip of the chin, it's over for you. And Blaydes goes out cold. Those follow-up shots are so savage, man. Jesus Christ, I'm just watching them. Man, that is a really bad stoppage by Herb Dean, man. Herb Dean is really slacking on the job recently, but still. Maybe Dan Hardy was right all this time, but Jesus, get in there a little bit faster before Blaydes loses his fucking life, because that's a Shadow Realm nomination. Mojahed Pudilat is going to put Curtis Blaydes in the Shadow Realm because of that KO, I reckon. How did that happen? Man. I literally said, on a Curtis Blaydes free fight, I believe. I think it was Blaydes versus Abdurakimov or something like that, I think it was. I made a comment on the video. It's the top comment in the video. And the comment is, I don't see a logical way Derrick Lewis wins other than by being Derrick Lewis. It's the most liked comment on the video. And that's exactly what happened here. He just was Derrick Lewis. It doesn't matter what happens. He lands one on your chin. Same situation with Volkov, but way less extreme, of course, because Volkov was just chewing him apart the entire fight long. But, man, Blaydes got one punch KO'd by Derrick Lewis, and Ngannou couldn't do that. And Lewis has a win over Ngannou. Lewis has near GOAT legacy. What is going on? Lewis literally has wins over Volkov, Ngannou, and Curtis Blaydes. What the fuck? He's not. He just wings bombs. He literally just wings bombs. Volkov, Ngannou, and Blaydes. I don't know how, but okay. Derrick Lewis, man. Good stuff. I'm glad he won, in all honesty. I mean, if there's anyone who's going to get an upset, it's good that it's Derrick Lewis of all people. Imagine if Blaydes was the massive underdog and he got the upset against Derrick Lewis, who everyone wanted to win. But, yeah, down goes Blaydes, man. Down goes Curtis Blaydes, and that really makes him look bad, and that is going to be a career-changing KO as well, because that isn't just getting TKO'd by Ngannou, but still being on your feet afterwards and complaining about the stoppage. This is like you're out cold, dead on the canvas, and you've got follow-up shots afterwards. He's going to have to earn his way back out of the Shadow Realm, and now he's just going to be easier to KO in general, and he might just start not shooting takedowns, because he didn't shoot him until the second, and every time he shot him, it was naked, so Derrick Lewis gets it done, man. Like and subscribe. Derrick Lewis. Yeah, the Black Beast. KO in the first round. Good stuff, you know. Brutal. Brutal KO in the first round. And Blaydes was chewing up those legs. Landing good shots to the body. A good knee up the middle at one point with an elbow behind it. But just no grappling whatsoever in between. Just very content to stand and trade with Derrick Lewis for the majority of it. And then the one time he did shoot a real takedown for the hips, he just shot it with no setup whatsoever. And Derrick Lewis punished him. So goodbye. Thank you for watching. Click that button up there. I literally called a Curtis Blaydes second round KO. And Lewis gets it in the second fucking round. You can't be more wrong. And it pisses me off that I can't be more wrong. But all good. I'm glad. Because it's Derrick Lewis. So you can't be too angry with money lost. Goodbye. Toodle pip. See you later. Another word for bye.